This episode was recorded on April 17th. Welcome to the Polytopian Interviewer, where I interview people on their experiences and views on the Polytopia Discord community. I have SGT with me. How are you?
Fine, thank you. TNT? That's how you pronounce it, right? Tntmasta?
Yeah, that's one of the ways to say it. I'm not too picky.
Yeah. Okay.
How did you first get into the Polytopia Discord?
First of all, I have been always a gamer, from video games to board games, computer games. I am 36, so in 2020, I was looking for a mobile game, strategic mobile game, more than full commitment video game. So I found Polytopia and started to play against bots. Then I convinced my brother and some friends, but I think I realized for going into the deeps of the game and mastering the game, playing with my in real life friends wouldn't be enough. So I joined a WhatsApp group and Telegram group. I think I actually was looking for some friend codes on the web, like almost everywhere, like from posts in some web pages. Then I found the WhatsApp group and started to play with those guys. But there was one day when I was suggesting to play cooperative game in Polytopia, sending screenshots via WhatsApp groups. And Statica, I think Statica is very active in WhatsApp group, told me that there was already a community doing that. So I was not inventing something new. He told me that Discord had this great community for more competitive playing, because I think he noticed that I wanted more than the WhatsApp group had at that moment. I think I am sure that WhatsApp group is not competitive as Discord. I joined Discord and it was actually my first experience with online and global community, because most of my experience with games were on the console, just playing against the computers, the bots.
Mm-hmm.
I barely played a game against other humans around the world online. By the time that was the usual way to play any video game, I was too old for that. I found Discord main and then Poly Champions servers via WhatsApp and trying to go more competitive. I knew my in real life friends or family or even the WhatsApp or Telegram groups.
You're my first person that said they came from WhatsApp and Telegram. May I ask what country you're from?
I am from Mexico.
Mm.
I have 36 years old, so most of my friends are players from console games, not actual Discord related community games. I have nephews that knows of Discord because of other more famous games like Clash of Clans or Fortnite, some of these games that I don't even like. So joining because of Polytopia, something more like chess than other kind of games. I think that's why it was so difficult for me. I spent almost maybe a month and a half trying to find another friend code. I actually played 2 weeks with random guys over the world. I sent friend requests and expect some of them joined my game. I didn't even know the names of the guys I was trying to reach out. I sent maybe 20 games with random friend codes, when the friend codes only way to play multiplayer games. Maybe 4 or 3 replied to me, and then I got desperate, and that way I found the WhatsApp group. And then Discord, of course.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm so glad they changed it to usernames rather than friend codes. Friend codes worked, it just wasn't very efficient at all.
Yeah, not very friendly.
Your global elo was 1712 max. How did you achieve it?
I don't even know. When I first started to play, I took care of my elo, of course. Let's say I am a little bit obsessed about everything. So at the beginning, and especially for the Polychamps draft, I knew that elo was something important teams would be looking for. Like a player with good elo could be a better prospect than someone with a bad elo. At the beginning, I just took care of my elo by not joining risky games. I am a fan of these role video games. I treated myself like a character from a video game. I tried to join games where I actually had a chance to win, and at the same time with not such great advantage for me, like playing against weaker or less skilled players. I try to join against opponents with no more than maybe 100, 150 elo difference with me. Eventually, I stopped playing one-on-one. I just played two multiplayer games, 2v2 or 3v3. I think most of my success was because of teammates. Since I joined Polychamps, I tried to play not only with my teammates, but also from other teams, especially players I respected and I knew they were the best. So I think that Elo is pretty much not only my elo, but a result from the experience and the effort. A lot of players playing with me because I played mostly multiplayer games. They did not all because of me. In some ways, maybe other players did the biggest effort, were more significant than mine when I was being trained or still learning. But yeah, I would say that I tried to pick my mates wisely. I didn't join risky games, games against players. Didn't know that I would have a chance to win. I haven't looked. I don't know why I keep moving up in the rank. I thought I was 1,600. I didn't know I was 700 and something.
That was before the soft elo reset.
Yeah, of
Mm.
course.
How did you get your leader role for the Plague PC team, and what are some of your responsibilities and tasks within it?
As a fun fact, I was drafted by cosmonauts first. I was actually invited to Polychamps by Ellie, cosmonauts, a great player, friend. And when I was drafted by cosmonauts, Prophet, the current leader at that time, and told me that maybe joining the Plague, who were very interested in me since the draft, could be a nice way to balance the league. He was reinforcing me the idea of joining not so strong thing at that time and maybe helping in growing that team. Actually, it was pretty much as he said. I joined, I tried to be active and I tried to be active not only inside the team but also outside. At some point, I was actually the most active flag. Maybe not today. A year ago, I was pretty active. I just got involved in some of the co-leadership tasks. Eventually, Miguel, the previous leader, when he was busy in real life, and also he thought that maybe for this new era of Flag, we are a little bit more famous, I could say, a little bit more stronger. A year ago, Miguel, he knew maybe he was not the right person for this new phase in the team. Probably me being more active, maybe more friendly, or just recognized by other teams. To be honest, being leadership of the team externally, it's almost like any other team. I am asked about important stuff. I am the last person to be asked about league-related major issues or problems, for consultations, for restarts. But internally, I would say that I love the idea that we are actually like a family, like small community inside our team, because we are still leadership internally. It's not like I say something and everyone has to obey. I don't know other teams, but I would assume that most of the teams might work like this, because being leader or co-leader most of the time brings more responsibilities than actually benefits. There are no actual benefits of being leader, maybe just access more channels, but at the end you have more work. You have to think about the rosters. How are you going to demote or promote? How are you going to solve player disappearing mid-season? You need to deal with other leaders complaining about a lot of timeouts from players not even responding pings. You must take care also your server admin, the bots, solving issues with maybe the poly elo bot or the calculator. It has been challenging being leader, because at the end your team will need someone that gives some direction to the team. For example, in Plague now we are trying to implement a new system for training. We have mentors that can take care of a new Nova or an experienced junior for making him or her pro. Most of the times difficult, because most players, at least on Black, do not have time for all these projects you may have. So it may sound good on paper and when you write them down or present them, but once they are implemented, you will see all the defects which your plan has, and you will realize that you have maybe bigger problems. Maybe for us, one big problem is that we are last in the draft pick. Very difficult to get good players to replace the players that are retiring or that doesn't have the time that you used to have, and you need to still fill the spots for the games.
What do you enjoy most about being on the Plague?
I think that I enjoy a lot. We are very warm. We are very warm people that actually take care of each other. We care about the games. I would say that we care more about how we enjoy the experience of being in the competitive scene. For example, if a player is having in real life problems and we are losing some games, maybe important games, for us it's more important that the player, the person, first of all is fine, is having a good time, instead of putting the numbers or the ranks above anything. In Plague, I would say that we don't usually care about the rankings or maybe even the championships. We are very competitive and we have very strong players. And maybe individually, some of them, they have goals like being in the top 10, maybe global, maybe Polychamps, maybe winning Wicked Bender or games in Facebook League, but we don't usually get involved in those individual goals. Our team goals, I would say, it's just to enjoy the game and how the game evolves along the time, like the new changes that we will see, and just to have a good time playing and, of course, trying to win and improving.
He also eventually won the Junior Season 7 championship. What was that like?
Oh yeah, that was, to be honest, maybe the most exciting moment of my time here on Discord. When I first joined the junior and found out how was the system for becoming pro and the 12 teams, the seasons, I knew how important was this in the global scenario for the Polytopia community, especially in Polychamps, of course. So being part of that, probably my best experience involving a video game in my life. I mean, playing with players like Finite, Tired, Jam, Yoda, some of our best pros now. In my first junior season, as a fact, I only had one junior season game, one semis and one final game. So I only had 3 games as junior, but those 3 games, I think, gave me this excitement of being part of something globally happening, like something happening in all the world. I think that even if we win the championship, I think the experience playing the playoffs would have been enough. But of course, winning felt like winning the soccer world champion for me, at least.
That's cool. Recently, a new server called Polylife has been created. Can you tell us what it's about and how it works?
Polylife is a server for Blitz tournaments. We define Blitz, fast-paced format games for Polytopia games, such as Bullet, which are games for maybe 1 minute per turn, or Blitz, which are maybe 1, 2 minutes, a little bit more of time, or Full Rapid. We just got these names from chess. Thought that using these fast-paced games with some live format, like e-sport oriented format for our Polytopia community, could be amazing. Part of this idea, I think, came from bullet tournaments in Polychamps and also finals from Wicked Bender, which is a server that has finals happening almost live, like fast players can play. Basically aims to live commentated and streamed games. We started the project with All-Star first season, the season 0, which is now happening. We started with 1v1 All-Star first season with games happening in live format. You can watch the players streaming at the same time they are playing. Most games last maybe from 20 to 30, some 40 minutes. We will test some 2v2 formats. Maybe eventually at long term, we would like to have squads or teams playing like other esports. different formats, maybe 2, 3, or 4 players playing 1v1 or 2v2, maybe some FFA games, playing for a championship, including probably more than one format. We started with the most common, easy to implement. We are preparing the next season, which is going to be fully open for any player interested in participating. As I said, other formats like FFA and 2v2. The important thing is two things, which is from the name, Polylife is live, which is all the games must be played live. That's no correspondence playing, which is you play and then wait for your opponent's turn hours or days after you played. The games must happen practically in you sit and play, and you must finish the game. If the game takes 1 hour, you will be online that completely 1 hour. And the second aspect important is the speed, fast-paced concept, which comes from Blitz, Bullet, Rapid.
So, what are some of your tasks as an admin and board director in Polylife?
In Polylife, we have a structure that has divided some of the tasks needed for running the leagues, the tournaments, and also of course, the administration and the staff work we need to do. So we have the board director, which are the position for the people that must listen to the community and make the biggest decisions inside the server, like opening a second season, discussing with the league managers how is going to be the format, how is going to be the election for the players. And we are admins as the Discord role, but we are not actually admins because not all of us can give support on bots or roles or other admin responsibilities. So we define the admins. We just try to draw the general picture, the path for making the project evolve along the time and bring to the community what most of us wants to see in the server. I would say that we are truly wanting to this project to become from and for the players. So we are always open to suggestions, to people trying to help. We usually, especially at this stage, we are practically adding anyone that wants to help, always requiring help for most of the tasks, modding, league helpers, managers, and referees, commentators, game recorders, streamers, pretty much a complex project that has been evolving. And we as board directors, we are 5, which is Nathan, Chancer, Ramano, Cora, and me. We are just trying to put everything, same as in a company maybe, together. We are trying to everyone find the right place to collaborate, feel that they are contributing to a project that is also of them.
Do you have any idea when Polylife will start uploading their games to YouTube?
We lack of support for this aspect of the server. None of us had experience in managing a YouTube channel. So I'm currently the one responsible for that, but as I am learning video editing, I first learned how to record games. I am still learning, and eventually maybe something related with streaming. And we have Fed, for example, a great guy who is helping for streaming. But as we now lack of help from that, I think the community probably will have to wait a little bit more of time. I would hope that right before the playoffs, when we define the best 4 players from the regular season, they are 16, so we will choose 1 player from each group that the first season will have for the 1v1 Blitz League. I would hope that by that time we will have the final artwork and video editing capabilities for preparing the videos in a quality that most of us will approve. I wouldn't say that we will be maybe fully happy about how we recorded and edited the videos and uploaded to YouTube. This is the season. We were expecting that we had some issues with this. We are not experienced with this. I mean, it's not even something that we do or are close to do in our real life works. I hope that maybe in a few weeks we can finally start uploading some of the videos we already have. If you join the server, the videos without editing, they are unlisted. You can still watch the games that already happened from the first weeks, probably 16, 20 games. You can contact the staff from the server, and yeah, we will point out for those videos. But maybe for public release, we will need some edition. I hope it can be done in the next weeks.
Fair enough. Do you
Yep.
have a favorite tribe?
I always liked Bardur since I discovered the game even before joining Discord. I think that would be my favorite tribe, even after the changes from EG1, like moving Clear Forest from Forestry to Free Spirit. Yeah, I would say that I always enjoy playing Bardur. I once saw my statistics, like my games ongoing, and maybe it's not only because Bardur is used to be so strong, but also because I do enjoy playing with them. I once discovered that playing with Lux and statistically would give me more losses than wins. It's fun because I think they were kind of balanced at the same level. I would say that Bardo is the tribe that I enjoy playing. Lately, I want to try Polylife. I have found that they are interesting tribe. I really like to play with them. I haven't played a lot, to be honest. That would be probably my second favorite tribe.
Favorite unit?
Riders. I don't like naval fights. None of the naval units from land. Yeah, I could say that riders are probably the most dynamic, the unit that gives you the ability to make the most sophisticated moves in the game, especially if you love microgaming, as I do, using each star, unit, tech, tile, and pretty much anything you have, even from your opponent, in each turn. I think that riders, they are very versatile when you use them. They are practically useful against any unit in the game.
Favorite strategy? Would it be the Riders
Strategy?
Roads Rush?
No, I don't. It's funny. Neither the knights, because everything is just who can spam more knights. Like it's using archers, probably archers and riders together. I love the games where I can use both units. I think you can take down, at least on land fights, any strategy from your opponent with just archers and riders. when you have the chance, of course. Not most of the games, but as I like Bardur and I like Riders, and they have a lot of forests, I would say that probably using Archers and Riders together has been the most satisfying games I have played. Either I win or not.
Do you have a most memorable game you ever played?
Yeah, I have some. When I was starting one game against Jo Young, I was a fan of him. He had a great elo at the time, and that was my first loss in main. That was pretty memorable, but I would say that probably the final games against Crop Dusters for junior season, probably that would be because we were already losing one. We could have lost that game. I played with Finite. It was memorable because he lost his capital on turn 5 or 6 against Iku from Crop Dusters. A great move from them. He lost his capital and he just got one city in the back. Sip. I was Bardur and I did Bardur it up. I went quickly to naval dominance, the ocean dominance, and had a village that Kiko didn't find because he was fighting against Seth, almost defeating. I would say that that comeback was also kind of epic because losing a capital from a 2v2 in a finals game on turn 6 or 7, I don't remember. Yeah, we thought the game was lost. We have a great comeback from that, and we could win. I would say that was the most memorable game.
How many games are you usually active in at once?
Actually, that also answers the one of the first questions. If you want to have great elo, do not play more than you can handle. I think that maybe 10 games is enough. If you can play only 6 or 5, that should be probably better, especially ones that you have experience at the beginning is, of course, logic. You will play more. When I started to play competitive, it was exactly 1 year ago when this pandemic stuff was affecting worldwide. So I had a chance to play maybe 6, 8 hours every day for like a month because I couldn't go to work. Of course, at the beginning you will play a lot. I played maybe 50 games at once, from casual to ranked and important games. Eventually, you need to take care of maybe 7, 10, 12. More than 10 or 12 could be too much, and you will start not putting attention on some of them. You will have disadvantage from those games. At this point, as I am only playing pro games, semis, and real competitive games against solid players most of the time. This season, for example, pro, I had eight games because a lot of players went inactive. 8 games and 2 semis games just for the first 3 semis games. I was in 2, so 10 pro games, including semis, playoffs. It was a huge mistake. I didn't play wisely. I didn't have time to coordinate most of our moves, and I already lost one of the semis game, and the other one hasn't been decided. 10 games is enough, maybe less. 6 or 8 would be enough for me.
Last question. What's your favorite part about the Discord Polytopia fandom as a whole?
I find fascinating how we create these virtual communities, which are very similar to what we have in our real life communities. At least I am fascinated how a lot of people is willing to put a lot of work without pay, without money as a payment. They do quality work for a lot of stuff, like the server you have. I admire how much effort and work just for the experience of being part of the Polytopia community. We are not getting paid for most of what we do.
Yeah, nope.
But it still is very rewarding to see that people recognize that and making these servers, these tournaments, these leagues without money involved, without maybe just recognition at most. That's my favorite part about being in this Polytopia community. That's why I was involved actually in the Polylife project, and that's why I am still in that project, despite the fact that it consumes a lot of your time. Maybe that happened to you, or is still happening, but you must take some hours from your actual work or compromise, like from family, from your friends, or from other hobbies. And why? Just because you want to grow and maintain a community where other people will feel comfortable when they share how much they enjoy and love to play a single video game. That's why I am staying in this whole Polytopia community and probably will remain much more time. I satisfy my needs for bringing something for others that they will enjoy. I don't have to be rewarded with money because of that. Something that you do for the community and you don't expect maybe, of course, recognition and say great work, or other people joining and bringing these maybe their efforts and joining forces for having mutual goals. My wife is still asking when I am going to be paid for all the work that I do for this community. I know she's joking about it and also at the same time not joking. I think she also understands what I am saying.
That's all the questions I had.
Okay.
It's nice having you.
Yeah, thank you for interviewing me.
I'll see you around Polylife.
Okay, see you around.
Yep, bye.
Bye.
As always, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, feel free to share it. For the text version, you can join my Discord in the description. I also have a YouTube channel where I play 1v1s and occasionally do tutorials. We'll be back next week. Bye!